Welcome everyone to the GoodVision Webinar. This is the first webinar of a series focused on visual analytics within the transport planning. The topic of today's webinar is, as we all know and been affected by many of us, is the COVID-19, and to see if this is a threat or an opportunity for the transport planning. I'm pleasantly surprised with the turnout today. Hopefully everyone can see my screen satisfactory and I'm coming through clearly to you. I hope you will all enjoy this webinar that we have put together for you during this 1 hour. So I just thought we'll start with introducing myself. So my name is Chris. I'm a business development manager here in GoodVision. Working with a wide range of local authorities and commercial sector private companies. Working at GoodVision has given me currently as well a unique advantage point in the market during the epidemic and the transport industry itself to understand the effects on the transport arena. This is the approach to, and developing as well with an array of constant kind of data requests and the first for more complex data requirements. If you have any questions during the webinar, you'll see a Q&A button, so you can write your questions and submit them. And then when we get to the Q&A session, I'll answer as many of these questions as possible. As the time allows, and if I don't, or we don't get time to answer them in the questions, we'll reply to you within a certain period, so say 48 hours or 24 hours, we'll reply to that question. And also when we get to the kind of questions and someone wants to speak, you just press the button to raise your hand and I'll unmute you. So the webinar is going to approximately take 30 to 40 minutes. I've muted all your lines upon entry, so I can't hear any of you. And there'll be time for the Q&A, 15 minutes at the end of the session. And this webinar is being recorded, so it will all be sent out to you, so you can look back at this later if you require the material. So the webinar agenda. Since the coronavirus outbreak, we've noticed a significant local logical change in the market and the behavior and the collection of data, which shows patterns on what to expect in the following months of the traffic analytical perspective, should we say. We decided to make this webinar to bring some positive view on what to expect during the challenging times that we're going through, when the transport market is in kind of hibernation or not working completely at all. And it's clear to us that in this day and age, we have the means and technology around to minimize and support key areas and still operate effectively, no matter the scale that you're working at. And also, just if you spend the whole time with us here on the webinar, we're GoodVision have a nice support gift for you all. So don't leave without this, so please stop to the end. And as you can see, the agenda points here, we'll go through just quickly GoodVision story, the impact on the surveys and the lockdown requests on the transport planning industry, and also utilizing visual analytics, and then planning ahead and looking at the post-COVID kind of forecast that we can see with the wide range of companies that we're working with worldwide. And then we'll have the Q&A. So GoodVision, who are we? Okay, GoodVision is a scale-up company based in London, UK, and a development centre in Prague, Czech Republic. We've already helped our partners and clients, everyone, solving traffic challenges on 6 continents, and scale by automation of the data collection and analysis of over 500,000 hours of video footage using the GoodVision proprietary technology. And as you can see here, there's a few facts that you have just there on the screen. So this is, as we say, the big picture. I think everyone is familiar or seen some type of image like this, you know, with the coronavirus spreading throughout the world. This pandemic has struck, and things that we didn't or we don't know is how this would affect the world. Only now we're seeing the pitfalls of just how the pandemic the crisis has really impacted many areas. In particular, the transport planning area that has brought a majority of companies and governments and authorities to a grinding halt because of this issue. So with the restrictive provisions, including like lockdowns, closed borders, social distancing, it's affected regular traffic and pedestrian behaviour patterns and focused majority, a force of the majority of the authorities to close or postpone transport planning activities. You know, a majority of the transport planning companies, you know, put into a distressful situation because of the loss and due to the lack of work. So, you know, but this is a real threat to the industry. So, or as we say, is in fact the market currently in hibernation and being, you know, looking to grow? Is there a potential that this is opportunity here for types of data that, you know, we will see going through the webinar that can be applied now, and also looking at the post-COVID kind of situation? So as we said, we've got the close of borders, quarantine, and we've also started to see special lanes for transportation on borders. And you know, these enforcements are kind of different in different countries, and some are getting better and some are still currently in lockdown. Sorry, though. So we've seen a majority, or a major initiative taking place around the world on the implementation of temporary infrastructures to meet the challenging demand due to the results of the COVID-19 restrictions. So, you know, according to Forbes, we've seen like New Zealand have reportedly become the first country to provide funding to make tactical urbanism, you know, into the official government policy. During the COVID virus pandemic. They also invite, you know, cities to apply for funding to immediately to implement temporary infrastructure during the COVID-19. You know, many cities in New Zealand to apply for this funding to widen pavements and create temporary cycleways. So utilising different parts of the lanes or the cycle paths in this situation. These measures can be put into place in hours rather than weeks and days if the design is to be implemented quickly, and adaptable measures to help deal with the shift in mobility demand as effectively as possible. So we're looking here at the planning, you know, during the kind of restrictions, and we're seeing a change in how people are collecting data, or the footage, we say, or, you know, data from around the world. So, you know, drones are in big demand and being used around the world to collect data. We have the networks of cameras that are in place that are being used to take data from. You know, people are either placing temporary cameras up to look at collecting data. And there is also tools that are available on the market to scale up quickly and also to help in this kind of remote situation. You know, the analysis of historical data, which we see as well on lots of posts, you know, for the post-corona projects as a comparison, I guess, to get this data. Here, I wanted to share with you the change. So just to highlight the change in the modes of transport. So the data that you can see from this graph here, which was in Switzerland, is tracked for car users and by bicycles and walking, sorry. And it's revealed that you know, the increase of the red line for bicycles is significantly increased. You know, and it's a global trend that we're seeing. We're seeing now people that are using their own means of transport, whether that is via bikes or via that's walking or using their own car, which will increase because people will now have a fear or a kind of perception that if you use public transport, you're going to catch something. So it's also a behavioral thing that's going to change the mindset of people here. And we're going to see this continuation of increase for cyclists and people, pedestrians. And that is also going to have a knock-on effect, the deployments and how we utilize the current intersections and walkways that we have now. And again, this is going to be something that we don't know is an implementation straight away, or it's going to be a kind of process into the future with a slow increase of restrictions being reduced. So this is the video insights. So I want you to look at video insights or why it's important. So in the 21st century, more than 90% of the traffic data is still collected by human counters and pressure tubes. So traffic data analytics is a fragmented market, and organisations don't, you know, always know how to get information they need or how to perform various traffic engineering tasks effectively. Traffic data is the fuel of almost every traffic engineer process. And these are, well, as we have seen, the three drivers for engineers. So first one is getting rich, accurate traffic data and reliable under all conditions. Getting data, traffic data rapidly without human effort. Having a platform where you can analyze the traffic data, so a single point where you can collect and analyze the data in one point. And this is a common scenario today, that the traffic video collection is done in one place and traffic counting is outsourced from another. The advanced traffic microanalysis is done ad hoc manually by traffic modelers themselves. And GoodVision Video Insights is the first ever solution allowing users to perform all the traffic data analytics tasks in a single platform and focus more on their profession or you know, high priority projects. It combines video traffic data collection and traffic counters with an advanced set of analytical and reporting features necessary for traffic modelers and other analysis. With other traffic video and analytic solutions, it has always been a dream to have a traffic data extraction fully automated, you know, with a rapid turnaround, say 1 hour. And you know, GoodVision offers this this kind of rapid turnaround. So while keeping the highest precision, you know, there's a lot of autonomously, and most of them you know, have to be human calibrated, some of these platforms, and where GoodVision is completely automated. And a significant human effort is needed visually to check and improve the results coming from these manual kind of processes. And again, that's been removed, and this is where GoodVision comes in. To, you know, no need to look at traffic collection as a custom project anymore. You can get rid of all the negotiations with contractors, and also in the current crisis that everyone's in pretty much lockdown. So you have the video insights and the ability to get this data from a single person or yourself just using your computer. You know, GoodVision Video Insights is a self-service platform, as I mentioned, so it's available globally, and at any time you can get the job done and bringing that power back to you. I'm just going to show you here, this is a video of the AI, or the GoodVision AI in processing in progress. It's kind of classifying and running all types of algorithms in the background. The data is being extrapolated in 1 hour and then made ready for you to use and can analyze the scenes in relation to your project. So during this crisis, transportation planning can be limited, but utilizing and like a hands-off approach under lockdown, you can still collect data that might just be required or will be required, I would say, post-corona for kind of levels in the background of a baseline. This is where, you know, you can see a major advantage, or where we see a major advantage of using AI technology and platforms such as GoodVision that will come into play even further as we move into situations post-corona. And AI gives you lots of advantages from saving time and money. So it's more efficient than a person. It can operate 24/7 on demand. No sleep, so no breaks. You can keep working 24/7, and it reduced the cost and scale to inject cash flow into you know, having to have manual equipment set up. You can just reduce that by having a platform and some video footage. Also, AI insights, you know, AI converts information into knowledge. So it can also give you a competitive advantage for quicker results. Complete analysis without, you know, you can complete it without any kind of project definition using the GoodVision platform. You've got the recording, and then all you need to do is go back to that footage, and you can do all your analytics on the fly. We're also, you know, reducing the inconsistency and getting a consistent 95 to 100% accuracy within results, and measurable visual results as well. A lot of people want to see the results in action, and enhance user experience. So, you know, it's a robust set of data that you can get within hours, and it's direct extraction from your footage, and there's no third party or any contractor involved. It's just you there to get this information, and it's also reusable data over a period of time. Whether you take your recordings or you have recorded for 1 or a week, month, or 2, 5 years, you can really do a very thorough analysis of that footage and look at what's happening at certain points and periods in time. And also, you know, with the current situation, projects are going to have to kind of be quicker and be quicker turnaround times. And there's probably companies out there as well that will need to scale very quickly. This is where AI, and not only AI, and also the platform can help you scale any size. If it's small scale, large scale, it's ready to use at any size, and you can scale your projects. So this is some observation here of some results that we've done during the lockdown or the COVID, just a comparison. So during lockdown, traffic collections are, you know, negatively affected. In many countries, due to the traffic volumes that deviated from the norm, even if the project is still running and compromises and want to catch deadlines before anything further, you know, it gets worse. But unfortunately, depending on the different countries' situation, it's already gone into lockdown. So you then have to come back then to either historical data or at the time of your lockdown, it's kind of difficult to look at that with the current set of data that you might have. And if you what we can do about this is planning, and as I mentioned, in the planning part of this is to collect the footage through closed network using drones and using a tool set available. This is the types of data that we are being requested now. So there's a change in the data that's being looked at, or a significant focus on further data that is more priority now. So a change in the collection is happening and being focused now on utilizing current data, or if it's needed, historical data during lockdown. Traffic collectors are now in many countries, the projects are standing still. So, you know, the reanalysis of historic video data. So the traffic survey companies are around the globe, including many of the partners, are holding big archives. And the traffic videos, the data which can be utilized during the crisis. Back then, there was no smart tool to achieve this easily. And now there's options. So reanalysis of historical data can be easier than you think, and using modern technology like GoodVision for the tasks that and multiple benefits. So we've seen an increase here now, as you can see, of pedestrian or advanced pedestrian movements. So we've had clients looking for surveys to look at the movement now of pedestrians during lockdown and the COVID situation, and looking at the social distancing, you know, the distribution flow of objects. So, you know, how the flow now of people on walkways is increasing, and also cycle lanes are increasing in certain areas, and also looking at that and how that's affecting the transport going around the cities. And then, you know, validation of the covered traffic models are probably going to be completely not valid, in a sense of once we get into the post-corona, there's going to be a complete different way that people will interact with everything on an intersection. So this is, you know, the research area of whether the pre-COVID versus COVID traffic analysis or research of pedestrian movements, social distancing impact, the digitalized data that can be used for various purposes instantly without further reprocessing. So, you know, it's so we don't repeat the stuff in the future. If we have historical data, or we have data now, we've got that to make some kind of baseline as well on the future events and or crises that could or might happen. This is a survey, or a pedestrian, as I mentioned. We're looking at pedestrian cyclists. It's increased. So knowing exact pedestrian and bicycle routes helps design smarter cities and you know, corridors, as we say. And GoodVision analysis of the pedestrians and bicycles is the same way as vehicles, basically. So it's just different movements, but as well as the vehicle movements, we have people and the cyclists. So we see the people collecting this data, and you know, the visual representation can be filtered and also shown any class within seconds, either combined it or, you know, singly. And enabling a greater understanding of the patterns of traffic using, you know, using a certain area. All major traffic movements on a roundabout were or can be defined with the platform, and using the origin of destination markers. You know, this allows for entry and exit combinations on the crossing lines that you can see here in the top. The top left here, and it's also looking at the volume. So, you know, this is allowing, or we're seeing, as I said, an increase in cycle lanes being used. So this is allowing you to see the kind of situation of what's happening now with the COVID to measure the increase, because there's going to have to be some change on the intersection, maybe to help increase or to allow the movement of cyclists and pedestrians, and also with traffic, because as we go into the post-corona, we're going to see maybe an increase in traffic because people will be using their own cars. So this is the planning ahead, I would say. So we're seeing that businesses are seeking help with their traffic projects, and they're trying to handle the projects, with staff outages, the lockdown and the quarantine, precautions, and for companies managing this collection and their staff and employing third-party contractors makes adjustments to the project's needs. Need to make adjustments on the fly. It's expensive. It's complicated. And cloud computing and SaaS services make it easier. And this is exactly what the platform does for you. With people told to work from home, as I am now, I'm doing this from my home, and then stay away from others. The pandemic has deepened the resilience of the service from technology, the industry, while accelerating trends that we already benefited from. And there are some options in the transport industry. A GoodVision Video Insight platform is running autonomously and is available globally to everyone. So providing that guarantee on the data that you can get in a quick turnaround, you can still scale your projects from small to large in the lockdown situation. And when the traffic situation gets back to normal, and what is normal at this stage, no one knows. And we're all going to be, well, I think you're all going to be quite busy with the traffic data and your projects, because it's all going to come back online again at some point, and it's going to increase the workload and the priority of the projects to be done, and quickly gain revenue from the projects as soon as possible. And we're here to help in that manner. This is why GoodVision is on the market and still supporting clients that need that support. Even if it's a few thousand counts, or the platform can handle it. Its scale is unlimited. And also the Video Insights is built to help projects around the globe. So there's different classifications that we can support, and also we have a very well-trained team that can provide individual assistance with your traffic projects remotely. So when you start using the platform or anything, we can help you with your projects very easily. So we're going into the forecast, or say post-corona virus kind of situation from what we're seeing from the market. So when the traffic situation does normalise, there's going to be a lot of questions. And as I said, what does that mean, back to normal? Will it happen once? Is it going to be done in steps, as we see in some countries? Because nothing like this has really happened and affected any of us historically. And the use of historical data for post-corona as such crisis it's never happened. We haven't. The historical data is just not really going to help then. It's the situation now. We can be expected that the demand for the traffic data will be growing due to the elimination of restrictions and the provisions. And as I said, this is going to increase your workload with the hold up currently. And there's things that we can look at as situations here, that home office. So as a point, one of the biggest challenges in the transport industry is trying to solve congestion. It's the result of the finite amounts of space or the supply with too much demand, causing delays for everyone. And we have long argued that the transport congestion is not an infrastructure capacity problem. It's a work culture issue So people whose work requires a computer and an internet connection don't need to go to the office every day. And I think this is going to highlight the COVID now, that people can work from home in a sense, and this will be a change again in the kind of behaviour or the flow of pedestrians in the week, or going to work, AM, PM peaks, as we say. And the intersection calibration. So the intersection calibration is going to change. There's one easy observation. So an option is to disable the button on the pedestrians, on the pedestrian crossings, walk, and signs to cross the street. So you don't have to touch that. It's just going to be set on a timer or a sensor. And activates, as I said, as the pedestrians friendly. It's a kind of pedestrian friendly road, and have to have these big buttons, and make the driver a default mode of the transportation. So no push, no walk signal, as to say. So now the public's health, are kind of pushing these kind of things. Same with transportation on the undergrounds. We're seeing that. Now you don't have to push a button. On some countries you have to push the button. You don't now, it's all automatic. And this is going to help and change the way that people think and interact with intersections or even public transport. And as I said as well, cycle and pedestrian infrastructure. This is going to increase. The network will get bigger, and we need to track that, and ways of tracking that, and create new waves of bike lanes or quarantine lanes, because we're seeing this also in countries like China, that they quarantine or have a quarantine cycle lane for people to use. So this is the different uses that people are using the infrastructure. And here I wanted to show you a case study. So this is a case study that we did with Ramble. Their challenge was Ramble conducts traffic studies and micro simulations on for governments in Sweden, and to make the most cost and time effective, they wanted to look at our solutions. So since manual gathering of data is a big kind of intersection, and is extremely time consuming, it's impossible to keep track of people outside providing manual counts and different places. So it was causing them an issue, and it was a challenge that Ramble kind of wanted to look at, and keep some consistency in the quality of the measurements or the data that they were collecting. So to achieve this data collection, GoodVision Insights platform was the clear choice. And the team utilized drones to get the traffic footage, which is then processed, and the information is sent or put up onto the platform, and they use this to calibrate and validate their traffic models. So the need for there was a need there for the automated solution for this task, and it was urgent for them. So the turnaround time of the data collection and the flexibility of the traffic analysis over the data was critical factor for them, and this is exactly why they chose and used the GoodVision platform. The key advantage is the adoption with the super user-friendly workspace. So for traffic data analysis, it allowed Ramble to precisely define what data was needed. We provided authentic, trajectories of all the vehicles, the pedestrians, and then allowing Ramble to perform a thorough analysis of the data. And without knowing anything about junctions, users are working with traffic data and dashboards to prevent any kind of issue or error. And since the traffic data was collected with the video system, they can easily navigate how users are getting the most accurate results. And the main result, or the future goals, is since this process is now simplified, RAM will continue to perform traffic volume counts, measure speed, acceleration, deceleration, and exploit more methods to extract calibration data with GoodVision. So this was a real positive success, and as you can see from the points on the slide here, this has really kind of helped them reduce their kind of costs and saved them a lot of time, which will be something that will be really to look at post-corona, to get everyone ahead of the corona that's gone through the world. Okay, we've come to the question and answers part of the webinar. You can see here there's links to follow us, information, and check out our website. There's the gift that I mentioned from GoodVision. Everyone that has attended the webinar, you will receive a 5 credits that you can use, which is basically 5 hours promo code that's to help support any projects you might have, and you can use the system with these credits. So this is the basic points here, and hopefully that helps you. So I've got some questions here, and if anyone wants to verbally speak, or has a question, please click the button to raise your hand, and when I see that, I will answer or open it so you can talk. So I have a question here. Right. So, can separate video feeds be combined on the platform in order to create a network-wide origin destination analysis or journey time analysis? No. At the minute, okay, like ANPR. This is, you can do it on a macro level, I should say, on the scene. You can't combine different scenes currently. We are looking into new areas. This is an area of interest, and this could be something that could come later to the platform. But currently, you can only do this type of kind of OD kind of analysis using the scene that you currently have. So you can't do any kind of combination. There's another question here. Do you support live camera processing, real-time processing? Right, 2 questions. Okay, so we do support live camera like upload. So you can have if you have a network of cameras, you can have that uploading to the system live, and you can schedule this. But it's not a real-time processing. There's still an hour to, I think, half an hour or an hour to processing of the data until you have that available for you to process or to extract your data. Let me see here. Can GoodVision provide calibration parameters for systems like PT Vising? Yes, we can provide the calibration. We have a saturation flow report, so we are able to provide you with the saturation flow for each movement, which I know is a headache for people looking to get this data. We have a lot of interest around that, actually, with clients that are looking to kind of get this information. And you can take that, so you upload your footage and you can run a saturation flow on the system and get that report for you. Let's see here. Can you process night video footage? Yes, we can, but there's we can't have footage that's pitch black, because even a manual counter can't count something in pitch black. We have to have some sort of backlighting. So we have some YouTube footage of night recording, and the camera is placed in front and is backlit by the cars coming behind. Or there has to be some sort of lighting around to have visibility for the AI to detect the object. If it's too far away, it's not going to detect it in the dark. It's not night vision, it doesn't have this capability. But if there is a backlit background or lighting, street lighting, the system can detect that. I'm just going through, there's quite a few here, so I won't be able to answer them all. And as I said, I'll get back to some of them as soon as possible. So there's one here. We've got a lot of questions about the saturation flows, so I hope I answered that with some of the saturation flows that we can provide that on the and the classification. So the report gives you all the classification types of the saturation flow, regardless, so that it isn't just on one type of classification. The classifications that we provide, you'll get your saturation flow. You can see here. Okay, so are there any deployment needs or integration needed? Can we use our own cameras? Do you also have a desktop app? Okay, so first question, so any deployment needs? The only deployment is a camera. And to answer also the question on own camera, it can be any camera with a certain set of parameters. So we have parameters set that you can have only 720p resolution. Frames per second have to be between 10 and 15, higher the better. These are minimum parameters I'm giving you. Of course, the better the parameters, the better and accurate your results will be. If you're going to use the minimum requirements, you will affect your results and get the low around about 95% accuracy. So yes, parameters need to be followed, but they're very simple in the resolution. Frames per second, and the height of the camera has to be no lower than 5 meters. So 5 in between up to 35 meters, the position of the camera, not looking directly at light, and also making sure that objects in front of you are not going to affect the visualization of the footage. So if you've got a big massive tree in front of the camera, we can't see through it. So have to think about the environment as well, where you're placing the camera. We also do have a desktop app. Sorry, if you on our website, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's you can either log on through the browser. It's a SaaS-based product, so you can log on and use the your web browser, or you can download our app, and it downloads onto your PC, and you can use that on your PC. If you're offline, of course the data is transmitted when you go back online, but everything is possible on the desktop app you use. There's a question here: what sort of accuracy percentage can you guarantee for counts and settings and classification, etc.? Okay, so the accuracy level that we work with the system, given that you follow all the parameters and the footage is met in them parameters, is between 95 and 100%. We don't say 100% or kind of hit on 100%, because and nothing can be 100% in this area, but we can get very high, up to 97 to 98% of results if you're hitting these parameters. We've got a question here. Does AI technology classify Indian classifications? Okay, I'm guessing this is to do with tuk-tuks and things like this. So we haven't got that classification yet. I say yet because the AI system is able to learn. The issue we have is just having enough data, or let's say a video of that object. We have to have quite a lot of data to train the AI system, but it is very possible. We just need the footage or the type of classifications that you're maybe interested in, and what we can do is we can then train the system, but there also has to be a need for that classification as well, and we can't just have our system looking for everything. So if there is a specific classification that anyone is interested in, please let me know, or let us know here through the contact points, and we can to look to see if this is something that is possible. As we said, the AI can learn. It's not static. It can grow, and it grows daily. How about the data privacy of my data? GDPR regulation. Okay, so with regards to GDPR, we are fully GDPR compliant. How we or how that is obtained is that the video footage that you're uploading is not stored on our system. It's uploaded and it's uploaded to the AI or the server for processing. And the AI looks through your footage, it extracts the data from that, and only obtains or keeps the data of the movements or from the platform that we want to look at. And the video then is deleted. So we don't store that. And also the footage that is, or not footage, the data that is extracted, the images that you see on your platform and you use it on your user screen, is also downgraded in the visualization. So it's blurring faces and license plates, so they're not visible. So it doesn't mean that your footage is bad quality, and it doesn't distort or change the results. You'll still get the same results, but because of GDPR, we kind of blur out objects so you can't recognize or identify them. And if anyone would like our GDPR policy, please let us know, and we will send that out to you. No problem. I'm going through, if we've got time for some more questions here. Again, if you want to ask any questions, you can raise your hand, and I'll let you speak. I can see here. How long will it take to collect traffic data from 5,000 hours of video footage? Well, if you have that amount of hours, 1 hour, or 1 to 2 hours. Should I say, maybe I should say 1 to 2 hours if it's big, but within 1 to 2 hours, you will have the data. It's not dependent on size. It's once your video footage is uploaded to our system, that is when the 1 hour is taken. So it's not during upload, because unfortunately we can't help you there, guys. If you have an upload issue, it's based on once you've uploaded your footage to the system, it will take 1 hour, 1 hour, 5 minutes or whatever for the data to be processed. So you can go to lunch, come back, and it will be sitting there ready for you to look at. There's another question here. Can it be used out of the box anywhere, like in US, Australia, or do you need to customize, train for the location first? So no, we don't need to train on location. It's just probably the classes. So as long as you have classification of vehicles, cars, trucks, buses, and so on, and people, I think which are all the same. We can track this. It just comes to when there is a customized vehicle in certain countries. We have jeepneys in the Philippines. We have that are customized. There's also the tuk-tuks. So these are all kind of very specific classifications that currently we don't have, but we're working on always adding extra classifications for countries. But our classification system is following the UK agency standards plus the US highway vehicle classification standards. So I believe most countries follow that, and I think further to the east in Asia, they have a much deeper classification. I think up to 16 classes. So that is where some of the classes don't apply. And also we do classify OGV2 classifications of trucks. So this is a new feature that we have. So if you're looking to understand to look at the classification between a truck, OVG1 and OGV2, then we can do that for you. It's not a problem. Let's see here. Will there be an option to include the original video footage instead of the CamStill video insights in the future? We do have a lot. Thank you, Jacob. You put your name there. Some of them were anonymous. So, Jacob, thank you for that question. The video footage that I show you is during the process time. I do believe, or maybe it could be something in the future that we might add. Everyone loves to see the footage of the visualization, and we can supply that to you at the time if you're interested to see that, especially during starting to use the platform. That we can show you that on the time of processing. Once the processing is done, as I said, it's deleted. So you would have to send the footage or allow us to use that footage to do that processing again for you, so you can see the visualization. But that is possible. We have an anonymous question here. Can the traffic data reports be exported into Excel or CSV files? Yes. All the reports come in Excel or CSV. When you finish doing all your analytics or analysis on the platform, you just click the export report button, select your reports, and you will receive the report via email to your email address. So they are in an Excel format. I'm just going to go through. We've got a few more questions here, and then it will be the rest. I'll follow up with a reply to you. Let me just see one here. Also, just to let you guys know, there will be a series of webinars coming from us. So this is not the last webinar. We're going to be looking at how to beat large-scale traffic data collections using visual analytics. So that will be the next webinar, and we will continue to release webinars specifically to certain points in the industry, and to help you understand how to extract that data. As I said, the gift from GoodVision will give you send you an email with the video of the recording, and also send you this code, and you can log on and upload your footage, and you can then come to us and ask for any kind of support to help you with the start of your analysis of the footage. So everyone will get that, and we will follow up with everyone within 48 hours and send this email to you all so you can see. So there's quite a few more questions, but I think we're running out of time now. So what I will do is I will reply to the questions that I haven't answered. And I'll also follow up and give you a reply to the questions that I have, just in case you need that, for later on. And the only thing to say really to you all is thank you very much for your attendance and being patient with me for my first webinar. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great week and everyone stays safe. Other than that, thank you very much for your attendance, and hope to speak to you or see your footage on the platform. Thank you.